Today's video is sponsored by Curology. New customers can get up to 50% off your first box when you use my link below. You know I had to do it to him. Hello, my fellow Drag Race enjoyers, and welcome back to Hot or Rot. And today we'll be reviewing episode 6 of Canada's Drag Race Season 4. But yes, I know what you're wondering. Where have I been for the past 3 weeks? Why aren't I in drag? And why am I filming in front of this plain beige wall instead of my studio? Which are all questions that deserve answers, none of which I have for you today. And it has been a minute since we last checked in on our little maple leaves, but oh my god. If y'all are gonna watch just one episode of RuPaul's Drag Race for this entire year across all of the franchises, make sure it's this one. And also any episode where Melinda Verga is going off about her goats and untucked. Hope she finds them. And in this episode, our queens were challenged to a lip sync slay off, similar to the lip sync La La Perusas that we've gotten from the US seasons, but with the twist being, everyone not moving out of the first round is in the bottom, and not one, but 2 queens have to sashay away at the end of the episode. Why have 2 queens sashay away when you could have just one? Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it in the order the queens progressed through the lip sync bracket in duos. First up, we've got the That Don't Impress Me Much Shania Twain lip sync between Kitten Kaboodle and Melinda Verga. And off the top, I will say this was one of the weakest lip syncs of the night. Kitten was playing her lip sync almost too calm, and I think she was trying to go for the unbothered That Don't Impress Me Much vibe of the track, but it really kind of came off as uninterested in the performance. Because it's clear she knows and loves this song, but her movements just weren't big enough to match the grand stage of RuPaul's Drag Race, especially when compared with what Melinda was doing, running all over the stage and busting out some of these crazy frantic tricks. Like, Kitten was really doing her little moment over there with her little twirls. Go on, girl, give us nothing. And then Melinda was coming busting out on the stage in splits, cartwheels, jumps, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Which is to say Kitten's performance didn't impress me much. I'm gonna give this a rot. And Melinda had to give a very safe 3-flame hot here because she was reaching for those bigger moments in the song and was more dynamic in both the performance and emotions in her face while she was performing. So Melinda ends up moving to the next round, which I very much agree with. Which brings us to our next lip sync, I'm Not Here to Make Friends by Sam Smith, featuring Aurora Matrix and Denim, which had a little bit of drag and drama built into this pairing because these two are supposed to be an alliance, yet here they are competing against each other. But concerning what happened here, we've got Denim looking like a little crazy clown on the stage. And this outfit, we'll come back to that. I will say that Denim did what needed to be done in this lip sync. It was clear she knew the track and had some tricks up her sleeve that could really get the judges' attention. A lot of times these splits or backbends looked almost in response or reaction to what Aurora was doing on the other side of the stage, who, yes, in this lip sync was talented, brilliant, incredible, amazing, show-stopping, spectacular, never the same, totally unique. That one. But really though, it was incredible how her entire lip sync through this track felt like a story of dance moves that were all connected in a bigger picture. And this type of thing is clearly Aurora's bread and butter. Like, she is an excellent performer, top to bottom, hands down. 5 out of 5 hot flames for her tonight. And Denim, I would give a safe 3 hot flames because it was clear she was making the effort and knew what she was doing. It just felt a little more disjointed and less natural than what Aurora was doing with the vibe of the track. The outfit though, I did say we would come back on that. And let me just say, I really love everything else that Denim has worn this season. Like, she looks like what I imagine in my head when Janice Ian is telling Katie Heron in the perfume store that she smells like a baby prostitute. My scores align with what the judges also decided, and Aurora moves on to the next round, landing Denim into the potential pool of eliminations. Ho ho ho! It's Bussy Claus, and this holiday season, I'm celebrating the gift that keeps on giving all year round. Consistently clear skin thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Curology. In fact, Curology's simple 3-step routine has been keeping my skin consistently clear now for about 2 years. And I couldn't be happier with the results. I mean, just look at this sleigh. Oh wait, I mean, this sleigh. Here's how it works. First, I wash my face with Curology's Acne Cleanser, formulated with benzoyl peroxide to treat and help prevent acne. Effective but gentle enough for everyday use. Then I apply my custom formula prescribed to me by a Curology dermatology provider. This is the secret sauce, if you will, that keeps my skin free of clogged pores, blackheads, and breakouts. And finally, I apply the Curology Rich Moisturizer with hyaluronic acid and shea butter. And when I started my Curology journey, I first noticed my breakouts were less frequent and less severe in just a couple of weeks. And over time, I've noticed improvements improvements in my skin's tone, fine lines, and texture. Plus, I finally got my excessive forehead oiliness under control, which is to say, Curology can treat lots of different skin types in lots of different ways. And Curology isn't a miracle working product, but it's definitely brought a level of consistency to my skin that is truly invaluable. Plus, if anything pops up, I just throw on an emergency spot patch and it's gone overnight. To get started with Curology, click my link below. On their site, you'll take a quick quiz to assess your skincare needs and upload 3 selfies. Then a dermatology provider will take a look at everything and prescribe you a custom formula and skincare routine to work alongside it. And if you ever have any questions, a Curology dermatology provider is just one click away in the Curology portal, where by the way, you can manage your upcoming shipments and even add new Curology products into your box. Like my personal favorite, the Curology sunscreen, which I wear anytime I step outside and I love because it melts right into my skin and doesn't make me feel greasy or break out like other sunscreens. So what are you waiting for? Click my link below to give yourself the gift that keeps on giving and start your Curology journey today. New customers can get up to 50% off your first box, which includes your custom formula and up to 6 free skincare essentials. Thanks Curology for sponsoring today's video and making my skin a total slay. And next up we got Nearah Nuff versus Aimee, Yonce, Shennel lip syncing to Fever Dreams, which was really quite hot on both sides. I really must say this was more evenly matched than I think a lot of the other lip syncs that occurred tonight. Like both queens are really nailing the kind of disco vibes of the song, and I wasn't even sure who I thought was doing better until we got to the part of the song in the breakdown where Nearah starts dancing like double time in the middle of the stage, and it was clear there like, oh, this is a trained dancer, mama. She has moves, she has tricks, and she also knows how to just really embody what a song is all about. Plus her outfit was kind of giving me Miss Cerebellum, the secretary from Powerpuff Girls, which was really hot, and I kind of favored her just for that alone. But I would give Nearah 4 flames and Miss Aimee, Yonce, Shennel 3 here. And the only reason I didn't give Nearah all 5 flames on this lip sync was because some of the dance moves kind of felt like she just said, let me do every single thing that I have under my belt and in my repertoire and just like see what lands. And it was mostly successful, but there were at times where like Brad kind of used this as a positive critique where he was telling Nearah she looked like a gymnast who was eyeing the floor for her next trick, which I think is both a positive and a negative because like yes, she did execute on all of the tricks that she pulled off during the lip sync, but at the same time you could see her actively like making the choices and decisions of where, when, and how she was going to do next in the track. And Nearah ends up progressing in the next round over Aimee, which I do totally agree with here, but I've got to call out the little C-wordy comment that she made to the entire judging panel and Winnie Harlow, of all people. Like I would be so embarrassed to be embarrassed in front of Winnie Harlow. Like she's so cool. But Winnie was like to Nearah kind of jokingly, can you help me with my splits? And she was like, sure, I'll help you and Aimee, which was a little shady and maybe unnecessarily so. But she has a lot of those little TV moments, which we'll circle back on these later in today's video. Because next up we've got maybe my favorite lip sync of the entire night. It's Venus versus Kiki Co to Alanis Morissette's Uninvited. And this is not normally, I think, a lip sync that I would respond to so well because it is such a serious track. And I think it's so difficult to do a track like this on a stage like Drag Race and have it be so impactful. I'm really moved, honestly, by what Venus did on this stage tonight to this track. It was insane. And I'm not joking when I say that her performance in this lip sync is now one of my favorite lip syncs across every RuPaul's Drag Race franchise ever. We haven't done a ranking or anything, but like I feel like it's up there for me, which obviously I'm giving 5 hot flames to. Kiki Co, on the other hand, I gave 4 hot flames to here because she did amazing up against Venus, but when you have someone like Venus performing in this way to this track, raising the bar so high, you can't really compete with that. Especially when, you know, you're dressed like a giant pink flamingo with these ostrich feathers everywhere. And seriously, despite what she's wearing, she did do great in the lip sync, but Venus, rightly so, ends up moving to the next round. And now in round 2, we have winners versus winners. Our first one being Melinda Verga versus Aurora Matrix for Boys Wanna Be Her by Peaches. And again, watching this lip sync, we are reminded that Aurora Matrix is just insanely good at what she does at all levels of her drag, from the perfectly fine-tuned aesthetic of what she's got going on and the outfit and the hair and the way her makeup is perfectly just face-tuned and painted onto that mug. I mean, she really has everything about her drag. Chef's kiss, perfect, wrap it in a bow, it's perfect. And then also to apply all that into a perfect lip-syncing ability and the way that she can match the vibe of this song but also the other song. I mean, she really killed it tonight. And for me, she won this lip sync the moment that she started hair flipping and head banging. Like, I was sold. In the sequence where she's coming from the back of the stage to the front and then is on her back throwing her legs in the air. Girl. This was hot. I will say though, Melinda held her own in this lip sync, but I don't think it was super different from what she did in the first lip sync versus Kitten. But I do think she had a little more energy, and I think was probably watching what Aurora was doing, was like, oh damn, I gotta really step it up. And she's over there doing the old wig thing. What she was doing there, by the way, is like you pull up the hair and you're like moving through the strands to demonstrate like the realness of the wig that you're wearing, which was a really interesting move for her to do considering the wig she was wearing at the time. But overall, what she did was definitely hot, and I was impressed that she kept fighting to the very end. Like even after the track was over, she said, I'm gonna just do a dead drop at the end of the song, because I feel like it. Another one. So Aurora moves on to the next round, and Melinda is officially safe for the episode. And next up, we got Nearah Nuff versus Venus to pull up by Keys and Krates. And I'll be honest, going into this, I was a little bit biased wanting Venus to win because of how amazing that Alanis Morissette lip sync was, and also because I wanted to see her versus Aurora. Like that was the lip sync I feel we truly, really needed this episode, but we didn't get it, and this is why. Her performance here just was not what it was in the prior lip sync. And it didn't come off that she had the same passion for this song as Uninvited, which tracks. I mean, there's a lot more raw emotion built into that one. But in general, she just didn't look as comfortable performing this as Nearah did. And I think a lot of that was due to the lack of movability in her costume she changed into. This cheerleading thing was really stiff. There was no movement. And this was like a hip hop track that definitely needed movement in hair and in the frills, the waist. And it was just stiff as a board, which was a little bit awkward to watch, and I think didn't translate the message of the song very well. But I would still give her a very safe 3 hot flames for the effort because she knew the track and really did, I think, try her best. This was a lip sync though that absolutely sold me on Nearah Nuff's performance capabilities. Like we knew she was a good dancer. We knew she was a good performer. And I mean, even in the prior lip sync of this episode, we saw that she could throw down in a lip sync, but this was the track for me where I was like, oh, she like kind of pulled it back a little bit. She wasn't looking for every crazy trick on the stage. I think she was a little more selective about the stunts that she was pulling. And overall, I think her dance training really helped her out with how to move her body to a hip hop track. Cause you know, you look at this next to what Venus is doing, you're just way more natural and comfortable dancing to this song. Which means, yes, again, I agree with the judges' decision here to progress Nearah into the next round and knock Venus out. But the gag of the season, the gag of the century, the gag of the video, this is my first time I'm gonna be disagreeing with the judges, just a warning for the next round. Okay, we've got Aurora Matrix versus Nearah Nuff. They're lip syncing to Black Velvet, which is an iconic track, and both of them played it in a very different way. Aurora was giving, I think, the more raw, rock and roll, punky edginess of the song, whereas Nearah was really selling us on the sultry and sexy part of the song. So we've got Aurora over here with her air guitars, cartwheels into splits, and just crazy hair flipping all over the place. Like seriously, her hair flips, I'm obsessed. I really am obsessed. She looks so hot doing those. But again, we've got Nearah on the other side of the stage, just knowing exactly how to move her body to the beat of the track. Like she looks like she is part of the song when she dances. And in this track, it was like you could see her, I think, getting a better handle on how to show off her body and dance on the stage as she went through the evening. And seeing that visual progression, I think, was rewarding and fun for me. But it was equally as rewarding to watch Aurora here give exactly what she has been giving the entire night. Like she was consistent across her 3 lip syncs, top tier performances, unshakable, unquestionable, just 2 different flavors in this lip sync that I think were both very successful. And personally, this lip sync was so close that I think I would have to look at the performance for the entire night, which would mean I personally would probably give the win here to Aurora, but I can absolutely see the justification for giving the win here to Nearah. I think this though is very much gonna just be a personal preference on how you like to see this song interpreted, because let's be honest, there's not a wrong answer here. These queens killed it and they both get 5 hot flames for me. But Nearah ends up taking the win and she gets to decide who will receive the golden beaver, which we did get a little bit of drag and drama from this episode. I loved, firstly, that she started off trying to figure out who to give this to by just asking if anybody wanted to volunteer to lip sync. I was like, who would do that? Who would do that? Like, she has to know nobody's gonna volunteer, but she asked that for the camera time, and we stand for that. I stand for that. But alas, no one volunteers, and so she's got to go through them one by one and reason this out. There's Denim, who would be the obvious strategic decision here for alliance purposes, both I think with her and Aurora. And the only other queen I think she seriously considered giving the Beaver to was Aimee, Yonce, Michelle, which I think really would have just been for the sole purpose of stirring the pot and trying to get one of the front runners sent home. But she does make, I think, the objectively smarter decision here and gives the Beaver to Denim. Because while Kiki would have been a good save, I think for strategy purposes, she's already been saved twice and doesn't deserve another save. And as much as I would have liked to have seen Kitten stay in the competition more, I don't think she should have gotten the Beaver from Nearah either, because she looked a little checked out after losing her lip sync, and her only reason for wanting to stay longer was that she would do well in future challenges like comedy, etc., but she's already proven that she can do those things. And we really were at the junction point of the competition where you actually have to be proving that you can do these things right now. We're in episode 6, there's like, what, 3 more? And there's just not any more episodes really to sit there and be like, oh, but I would do great then, I would do great then, I have so much more to show. Because in reality, the competition is basically over. Done, gone, over, send everybody home. Bye-bye. But anyways, Nearah decides not to stir the pot, and she gives the Beaver to Denim, which results in a lip sync between Kitten, Aimee, and Kiki to I Will Love Again by Laura Fabian. And I'll be honest, this lip sync, girl, it was over before it even started. Kitten was checked out, she was done, she wasn't even there. Which leaves us with Kiki and Aimee, and girl, Kiki had a fire under her ass to win this lip sync. You could see it. Like, she was burning charisma, uniqueness, nerve, and talent. And while Aimee did good, she just did not match the intensity and levels that Kiki reached for this lip sync, because that's another world-class performer. And I do not say this lightly, but there are a lot of world-class performers in this cast. The performance capabilities, really insane. The comedy capabilities in Snatch Game last week, though, not good. But thank God these queens can dance. And by the way, I reacted to not only this lip sync, but every lip sync from this lip sync off over on my Patreon at patreon.com/BussyQueen. That's my members only website where my Patreon family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my YouTube videos every single week and access to exclusive videos like those reactions. And don't forget, you can join my Patreon right now by clicking the link in the description of this video. See you there. But Kiki here takes the win, rightly so, in my opinion, and we see Aimee and Kitten sashay away, both of which, I'll be honest, I was sad about. I think these queens are extremely dynamic and have a lot to offer. It just didn't happen this episode for them. And it's a shame that we did 2 eliminations here. It really, I don't think that was right. It was wrong, and I think it was just for the dragon drama, if I'm being honest. And as we see these 2 queens sashay away, we also learn that the twist of the season, the Golden Beaver, is actually saying bye-bye. This was the last episode that we're gonna see this Beaver twist happen. This is the last time this Beaver is gonna make a dam. So yeah, the Beaver's gone, but I would love to know what y'all thought about this episode. Who should have won what lip syncs, and did you agree with my ratings and decisions? Or maybe were you finding yourself thinking different things? Let me know down in the comments below. And just for fun, for this episode, I've got 2 hottest hots. Because why just have 1 hottest hot when you could have 2? My hottest singular lip sync performance tonight goes to Venus for Uninvited by Alanis Morissette, and my hottest overall lip syncer of the episode is gonna go to Aurora Matrix. And I wanna give an extra special thanks to today's video sponsor, Curology, for keeping my skin consistently clear all year round. Don't forget to click the link in the description of my video to start your Curology journey today. New customers can get up to 50% off your first box, which includes your custom formula and up to 6 free skincare essentials. And finally, I want to say thanks so much to you for watching today's video, and I'm going to give an extra special shout out to Hoska, who's just joined my Patreon at the hot tier. And lastly, I want to give an extra special shout out to Ashley Brungart, Dorothy Hall, Felicia, Frankie, Laura, Matthew Burns, Sailor, Sharkies, Stephen Topher, Tyler Hendricks MD, and Will and Tanner, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier over at patreon.com/BussyQueen. See you later. Love ya. Bye.